So I will start by sharing that the meeting today is mostly about effective communication when you're going to travel, and the best ways that you can help yourself to make everything easier and more fun. And I'm going to start with, please plan ahead. If you cannot understand me, just let me know and I will slow down, because I know it's difficult. Know ahead of time what you will need before you travel. If you're traveling by car, by plane, or by the seas, by a cruise ship, anywhere, even in a hotel, plan the location and communicate with the front desk any concerns you might have. As your travel agent, the front desk at the hotel, at the airport. If you're traveling by car, have your driver's license and an information card that shows that you're hard of hearing. I have that. I don't know, I'm gonna put this up and see if you can see it. Can you see that? I don't know what you all can see. And this is very, very helpful. Yes, that's very, very helpful when I travel by plane or anywhere, even in a hotel, to show that with my license, and they know automatically that I need a little bit better communication. And I'm not looking down on myself, but we're just effectively communicating that we need this. Always have it ready behind your license, because you always have to have your license. If you're driving, map out your destination. Even if you have a GPS, it's good to have it in print. That might be the old way, but it's better to have both ways to make it safer for you, or if you get stuck somewhere, you can actually tell somebody where you are. Keep it in the glove compartment just in case something should happen, and somebody will know where you are headed for and where you're from. Because sometimes when an accident, you cannot speak. That has happened to me, and everything was written down, and they knew who to contact and what to do, where I was from, and my name. So any other questions on that? No questions? Hello, Sarah, can you hear me?
We hear you, Lynn.
Okay, good. I'm apologizing. I did try to get on my Zoom on the computer for 2 hours. So I did try to plan ahead for this meeting also. It's just hard to do it on my cell phone now. So I just got done talking about driving and the best ways to make it a safe adventure. So now, would you like to talk about cruising? Or anybody have any questions? But I'm not hearing anything.
There doesn't seem to be any questions at the time. And Sarah, you're muted.
I hear you, but I don't hear anybody else. Okay, I'll just go ahead and start talking about cruising. Again, plan ahead with your travel agent. Know ahead of time your special needs, accessibility, mobility, and hearing. Ask what accommodations are available and fill out the accessibility form at the same time you make your reservation. And ask about devices that are available for you on the ship, for the theater, in your room, and all throughout. You do this at least 3 or 4 months ahead of your cruise. And try to get a cabin in the middle of the ship for those who have equilibrium problems. And that helps a lot with not getting sick. It really does. And the inside cabins are really dark for those who suffer from claustrophobia. And it's also hard to read lips in the dark. So I do know the last cruises I have had a door knocker where the staff and the steward or room steward knows that I'm there. And when they tap on the door very lightly, it sends a light in my room. And for the telephone, it does the same thing. They hook it up to the lamp. And when someone calls, the lamp goes off. Fortunately, my husband can hear to answer the phone and speak on it, but they have all been notified ahead of time that I do not hear well on the telephone. And you want this to be a fun thing. You don't want to go on a cruise and worry about missing anything. And if there should be an alarm or a loudspeaker saying something, you want someone to know to come to you and tell you what they're saying. Any questions? I think I'm getting something here.
How do I get rid of this?
So
I
you see the
think-
flyer. The flyer shows just about everything that I was just speaking about. I see that very loud now, very big.
How do I get rid of all this stuff?
Reading.
So Lynn, it looks like
Yeah.
Sarah might be having some computer problems or something.
Yes, and I'm wondering about that. I do understand you pretty well, so I just sent a text message to all of you,
So,
and maybe that
Okay.
might be the best way.
hi, this is Sarah. I'm at my husband's computer. I'm having difficulty with my computer moving. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. And you
Okay,
speak very clearly, so I'm doing pretty good.
so I need I need someone to advance the slides. My computer isn't advancing the slides. I can't unmute on my computer. I can't do anything on my computer. So I came upstairs to my husband's computer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sarah, I'm gonna
yes,
can you give me
Can you-
control of the screen?
can I do what?
Give me control of the screen.
Who is talking to me?
This is Alan.
I do. I made you co-host. No?
Hmm.
Yes?
No, I'm co-host,
Okay, let me try.
but let me share my screen out. I'll bring the PowerPoint up.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Lynn. My computer froze
Oh.
up. So my husband's trying to get it started. In the meantime, Alan has the slides.
That's no problem. I was having the same problem with my computer, and I've been
Yes.
on it for an hour. So it should not have taken all this time. I apologize.
Let me see to get to my desktop.
Okay, should I just keep on talking about travel, or do you want to do this another time?
Yes, I
No.
think so. And then people can put their questions in the chat.
Hello?
Okay, I can move
so-
this chat.
After you finish talking, we can look at the chat questions or people can raise their hands.
Okay,
Okay, Sarah, I got your computer working. What slide do you want to be on?
I think Alan is going to share now. Is that right, Alan? Or you want me to now that my computer's working?
I'm ready to go. Just tell me what slide you want. Is this the right slide or should we go back one?
Which slide are you on, Lynn?
okay, I'm here for
Which,
any questions. And I'm doing this by chat right now.
okay,
Let's see, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm gonna start talking about flying.
okay, you're gonna
because
talk
many
about
of us will be
flying, so
flying
we need the
to the
slide. Yes,
convention.
that's great. Thank you.
Okay, I just got off, really, I did just get off a meeting online with United Airlines, and I had no problem with them. So I don't know what happened with this one. However, I'm going to tell you that flying the skies can be very hectic, but it's not bad, again, if you plan ahead. Ask your travel agent to check online to see if there's an easier option for getting to point A to B. Example, try to get a non-stop flight. Pre-arrange your special needs online. I think when you sign up for your ticket, it will ask you if you have any so-called disabilities. And while most of us do not consider a disability until it's presented to us, go ahead and put that down, exactly what you need. Because looking at us, you can't tell that someone has a hearing loss. And so that makes it even more difficult for us. Specify your concern to navigate the airport at check-in. Let them know there too. Have that little card that says, I'm hard of hearing. At the boarding gate, do the same thing. And in flight, you can please note that you can ask to be guided through the airport to your next gate. If you cannot hear directions well, or you're very short on time, however, this must be requested ahead of your arrival, not while you're sitting on the plane, ready to land and get into your next gate. So make sure you do this ahead of time because it's very hectic. Any questions there?
I have a comment.
Okay.
Hi, this is Dana Marvini.
Hello.
And I recently found out that if you want to pre-board, which people with hearing loss are entitled to do, we now need to request that our boarding pass show that. So we need to tell the gate attendant, or when we check in at the airport, we need to ask for that specifically. We didn't need to do that previously, but in the past 6 months, there's been a change that way. And
That is very good.
that's really important. You can't just show up and ask to pre-board at the last second.
That's very good. Yes.
The
Always-
other
always,
thing that I found out some time ago is that it seems that the airline don't have a good way of assisting people with hearing loss. So if you tell the airline that you are deaf or hard of hearing, they will often arrange for someone with a wheelchair to greet you if you have a connection or if you leave your plane. But they don't tell you this ahead of time. And they don't have any other way of accommodating people with hearing loss other than to get a wheelchair set up for you. They don't
that is a good
ahead of
question.
time.
Yeah.
Lynn, do you know anything more about what the airline is supposed to do for people with passengers with hearing loss?
Oh, you are doing the right thing so far. At the
You're
boarding
muted.
gate.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay, I'm still on.
Oh, maybe my hearing aid. I think I need to change my battery.
Okay.
Diane,
Yes.
Diane
I'm
wants
going to
to,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I
I'm
can
going
see the
to talk
caption.
about what I do at the airport. At the boarding gate, yes, you show them that card, you have your boarding pass, and you stay always, or if they don't, you may ask to pre-board. Now, when you get on the plane, give a little note or have it made out ahead of time. Give it to the flight attendant, your name, your seat number, and the fact that you need to communicate by reading lips or however you communicate best, even if you need to have things written down. And they can accommodate you and let you know if there's going to be any diversion in the flight, any bumpy flights ahead. They are supposed to come to you and let you know all that. And remember, it's invisible, and they have many, many people on that plane. What I just discussed today with the airlines is that they're going to try and give you an app on your phone that will let you know of anything that you need to be concerned about. And the flight attendants will also have your name and seat number so they can accommodate you. It's gonna be a long time coming to get it down perfectly, but they are working on it to make a communication better all across the board through the cell phone. But however, I still believe in face-to-face. Let the flight attendant know where you're sitting, what your needs are, and that if you have a next flight to catch at a different gate, let them know to please tell you if there's any gate change before you actually land. Communicating with others is the best way to get to your next point. And they can't help you unless you tell exactly what you need in a nice way. If you get on the plane before anybody else, you have time to do that, because we all know everybody rushes on, puts their luggage on their overhead bin, and they're kind of pushing you around. So pre-board, talk to the flight attendant, explain nicely with a smile what your needs are and what your concerns are, and they should be very happy to accommodate you.
Okay, Diane has her hand up.
Yes, so if we're going to have a flight change and we want assistance, which it sounds like would be with a wheelchair, you say
Right.
we need to let them know ahead of time. How do we do that? And how do we do that?
Put it down on paper. I have just a note card, a colorful one. Can you see this? I don't know if I'm still on video.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I have a note card like this with my name, my seat number, and all the things I would like them to do for me.
Okay, so are you saying that when we get on, we tell the flight attendant what we need when we're going to stop, when
Yes.
at the end of the flight? I thought you
Yeah.
said ahead of time.
And there is a question from Alan. Yes, others boarding at the same time as you, they can also pre-board. So you're not alone. You can have whoever is flying with you can also pre-board with you. Did I answer that question, Alan?
Yes, you did.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't think Diane was finished yet.
No, Alan, did you understand what I was asking? Or maybe Dana did. I don't know how to say it. It seems to me that, Lynn, you have said before we get on the plane, we need to know that there's going to be, if we know we have a tight timeline in changing flights, we need to ask ahead of time for help. But I don't know when to do that and to whom.
Okay, maybe I did not say it clearly. Nobody knows what the changes once you're on the plane in flight. But if there is a change of anything about your connecting flight, the flight attendant will know. And if
I'm
she
not-
feels that she can tell you before you get off
I'm not talking
what your
about,
flight will be. Also, you can request to be guided to your next flight.
When?
It does not have to be a wheelchair, although a wheelchair will be there waiting for you, no matter what. And I had a friend that did that recently. She walked fine, she can see fine, but the wheelchair was there to greet her because you're right, it's the airline, the airport that makes that arrangement. Not the airline per se, not Delta, not United, not American, it's the airport who gets the notification that somebody needs assistance. So don't get upset with them because they're doing the best they can to accommodate you.
How far in advance does that have to happen?
When you book your flight, make a note of the accommodations you need.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then if you forget to do that, you can remind them when you check in and again at the boarding gate. But never wait till you get on the plane and then say, oh, by the way, I need this or I need that. Because there's so many people that need all kinds of assistance. And it just makes it more difficult to accommodate you.
And I have, by the way, I have let them know that I have a hearing loss, and they say that they don't really have much to offer, but let us know if you need help. I mean, it's just sort of goes on and on. But thank you, that helps me. Thank you. That answers my question.
Oh, good. Thank you for asking. And also, I would like to say, don't be afraid to ask, because just ask and people are happy to accommodate you. But if you get in a bind and you don't know what to do and you just get yourself more upset, it does not help anybody. So always feel like you can ask. Are there any other questions?
Dana, did you have a question? Dana,
I have a comment, which is make sure you read everything about the flight ahead of time, including make sure that you get the app for the airline on your phone and your tablet. But try to find out if they provide a way of seeing the entertainment on your tablet or your phone. But the other reason for the app is that the app will communicate last second information about gate changes. So it's
Exactly.
really useful to make sure you have the app for the airline, but they may also have a separate app for looking at entertainment. So it's and you need to read this ahead of time because you can't download and install an app on the airplane. You need to do this before you leave for the airport. So look at the website online to find out about all of the requirements for the airline.
That's true. And the app will also tell you if there's a delay in your boarding or a delay in arriving, so you can prepare for that. The app will go directly to your phone.
And another tip is to try to make sure that notifications set up to go to your phone by text. So it's a great way of being notified as soon as possible. And make sure you have vibration on so you can feel. You need to wear your phone in a way that you can feel the vibration. But I would also suggest letting fellow passengers know that you have hearing loss. Even if you're at the airport, find someone to let you know of any last minute important announcement. Because I have found that I cannot rely on very, very busy airline personnel to remember my needs. But a fellow passenger had the time to let me know, and we'll be listening for important information. So that's a really, and also if the if there is a change in your flight at the last second, make sure to walk with a fellow passenger to the new gate, because that gate can be changed while you are walking to the gate, and that has happened to me. So a hearing passenger is invaluable for keeping
It
you
is.
connected.
Everything you said is so true. I have been sitting there once when everybody got up and started walking, and I thought, oh no, it must be a fire alarm, because I did not hear over the speaker that there was a gate change. So I asked someone at the boarding gate, what's going on? And they said, oh, you just have a gate change. But the lady that was supposed to be taking care of me, to accommodate me, she was on a shift change. So there were new people at the gate who did not know who I was. So now with my card, with my name, my flight number, and what my needs are, I put down what I'm wearing. If I have something red on, I go, the lady in the red shirt needs to be notified if there is a gate change, and put that on the desk. And if there's a change of people working there, they will see that, and they usually look at you and smile. If there is a change of people working, go up again and remind them, because like you said, they don't remember who we are, and we don't wear on our forehead what we are needing, because we're just so perfectly, right? And so just don't be afraid to speak up, go back up and ask more questions, because you can't enjoy traveling if you're nervous and worried about something. I hope that helped too.
Lynn, on the airplane, is there a way for people to connect their hearing aids to the entertainment?
I really don't know about that. I've never really paid much attention to the entertainment. I just changed the channel. But they do give you an earpiece that you can put on there. But how do you do that when you're wearing hearing aids? I don't know. I still don't know that one myself. So if anybody finds out, I would love to know. But I read lips so well that I can read the movie that's going on in the seat in front of me. So I actually have, sometimes I have 4 movies to watch at one time. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I really don't know the answer to that one.
Yes. And also on the plane, I can't hear the pilot's announcements. Is that going to change? Is that going to be part of the new app we will have?
Yeah. They are going to try to put any announcements on your cell phone. Now, it is something new that they're trying to fix with communication, because it seems like because we are invisible, that's the last thing anybody thinks about. Wheelchairs are so visible, they always talking about how to accommodate those who have wheelchairs. But for us, we need to speak up and let them know the more things that we need too. But again, if you get a really nice flight attendant, they should come to you and tell you anything that you need to know. Also, try to get an aisle seat so you can stick your head out there and go, hey, no, I'm concerned about this. So is there anything else I need to know when everybody looks up when there's an announcement? That's the only way I know there's an announcement. Everybody looked up at the ceiling and I'm thinking, uh-oh, they said something. Sometimes it's just a joke from the flight attendant or the pilot, nothing serious, but you don't know. We don't know.
Um,
Yes, Dana?
I have found that if you have a speech recognition app on your phone or live transcribe, that it actually can pick up a lot of the announcement from the pilot.
Yeah.
So do try that, and at least you'll get notified if there is some sort of announcement happening. But in my last flight, which was in February, I was on the plane and I was listening to a movie on my tablet by Bluetooth, and I didn't hear the announcement. We were out on the plane and seated, and it turned out that we had to get up and leave and go to another gate because our plane was not had some sort of problem with it, and nobody told me what was going on. I just saw everybody getting up. But so I had forgotten to tell my seatmate to tell me if there was some sort of announcement that was important.
You can meet many nice people by saying, hello, can you please share what was just said over the speaker? And the people are more than welcome, are happy to accommodate you if they feel you did not understand. Don't be afraid to reach out. And that's exactly what I do. You have to speak up for yourself because nobody else will. You did the right thing.
Okay, so let's see if we can go to the next slide. I don't know if I'm able to do that. I can get it to move forward. Okay. Okay, so I need to get some, I need some help getting this to the next slide. Okay, Lynn, we're at hotels.
Yeah. Hotel. This is also important because if we go to the convention, we need to know what to do to help ourselves at the hotel also. Do your research about the hotel before you arrive. Request an ADA accessibility kit for your room. If you can do that ahead of time when you make your reservation, that's even better. And that will also give you the door knocker and the light that comes on when the phone rings. And it also lets the front desk know that you might need someone to come to the door to get you if the fire alarm goes off. It's not this, I'm not saying that to scare you, but that happened to me in Washington, D.C. I don't know, maybe 8 years, 10 years ago at a convention, at our convention. And I just sat in my room. I had no idea the alarm went off. And then the next day, everybody asked me, how late were you up last night? And I said, I was fine. And I had no idea that they had all gone down the back stairs to go outside and wait for the firemen to determine there was no fire. So I was very, very lucky. But at the same time, I did not have any communication with, it was a very old hotel, and I did not know enough to start asking and speaking up of what I needed for my own safety. So always let people know that at the front desk, the staff, to come get you if there's something going on. Review the emergency route and all the staircases. I do that every single time I go now. And the if there is a ADA kit is not available, especially let them know. Once I asked for an ADA kit, it's unbelievable that they gave me a toothbrush and toothpaste because they thought it was the American Dental Association. And I had to say, no, this is Americans with Disabilities Act, and it's a kit to accommodate people with disabilities. And so if they don't understand, it's your job to teach them. I do bring my own flashing light that sticks to the door in case they do not have it. But most hotels now, if it's modern, they have a vibrating alarm to put under your pillow and a light that lights up. So ask your hotel. In fact, I'm going to do that for this one, what they have, and ask to have it ready for me when I get into the room. And that's just important. That's your own safety. And if the hotel is on the up and up, they care too. They really do.
Okay, so Dana, do you want to say something?
I wanted to bring up that in many newer places of lodging, there may be ADA accessible rooms that are completely set up to be accessible to everybody. And a few years ago, I found that the Motel 6 that I was about to reserve had rooms that were specifically made accessible to people with hearing loss. It even had a doorbell that was set up a visual alert, and it had visual alarms. So in some cases, you don't want to ask for an ADA kit because the room may already be set up in a way that's even better for your needs. One problem with a lot of hotel rooms is that if there's a fire, it's, you may not know that even if you have a visual fire alarm, it's only going to tell you if there's smoke coming into your hotel room, which is too late. It's not connected to the building alarm system. So, so you need to try, so that there's a whole lot of ramifications for that. One is you want to have a room that's closer to the ground floor. Because if you're way up high, then you're not going to get early notification of a fire. Because again, you don't have access to the building fire alarm system in those really tall places.
Well, once again, when you make a reservation, ask these questions. I think we're staying in a very modern hotel. I'm not sure, in New Orleans, but ask those questions because those are very important to know. And as far as accessible rooms already set up, when they say accessible, it's usually because the shower allows wheelchairs to go inside. There's no ramp to get over to take a shower. So there's a limited number of those accessible rooms. So that's why I say, remind you to ask for the ADA kit in case the hotel is full of people that have wheelchairs more than they have room to accommodate those with hearing loss. So either way, you cover yourself. And it's smart to just ask questions.
Lynn, I'm wondering if, because of our technology problem, if you were able to cover all the slides. I just want to go back a second if I can. No, it doesn't look like it's going back. So that's what I was looking at. Did you talk about train travel?
Train travel, I don't know how many of us dare travel by train, but they do have a good setup for the train. If we don't have, even if we do have a cabin, which is
Use the
very
arrow
expensive.
keys.
This doesn't look,
Put your mouse
Yeah.
on there on the screen.
Yeah. You learn
And
to
with the
identify
arrow key.
yourself to the conductor. And if you're sitting in a seat and the conductor has a way of putting a little card up above your seat that notifies others that you have a need for accommodations. Okay, I see that you're trying to do that.
yes. We're trying to get that slide back. Are
Right,
there,
I know.
I see that you've answered the questions in the chat. Are there more questions that people have? Now would be the time to ask them.
I have a question. I am very interested in train travel. I get a small cabin when I travel, and I often miss the stops. I don't know when I can get off because I don't hear the announcements. And the only thing I know to do is to tell the I don't think it's the conductor, it's the person who helps, who takes care of our hall, our rooms.
Right.
Is there anything
Well,
else?
I know are you talking about Amtrak?
Yeah,
Yes. Well, with Amtrak, they quietly put a little card above your seat that notifies that man that goes up and down the aisle. And I know it's not the conductor, but I'm not sure what he's called. That shows him, it shows him that you have a special need. And it'll also tell him what that need is. And it will be to let you know about the announcements. When I traveled by train, I was terrified. I didn't know where to get off. And so every time he walked up and down, I go, are we there yet? Just like a kid, are we there yet? And they came up with the idea of putting a card, like I said, that nobody else can know what it means, just the people who work on the train. And that should, if you don't know about it, make sure you ask. And also, I believe if you have a disability, you get a cheaper rate for traveling on the train. Don't quote me, but that's what I heard long ago. If you have a disability, you have a special rate. Service dogs are also allowed on the train. However, if they have to go use the bathroom, you have to be the one to be able to take the dog out and get back on the train. People don't know much about that. Nobody else can take your dog but you. So that's another issue if you have a service dog. Let's see, if you're in a cabin, a sleeper cabin, the man or lady is to know to come to your door with any changes or notifications also. Just like the plane, I think you can do this ahead of time when you book your reservation. There are some things that are different now, I'm not sure what, but always ask, what should you know? What should you do? And yes, it's called the porter. And they are more than happy to accommodate you if you ask in a nice way. And if they don't, let me know. Because it's not fun on any kind of a trip when you're not sure of what's going on. Did I help at all?
I guess I have to find out if there's a little card that they can use for a roomette.
Yeah, they're supposed to do that for you. Yeah. It's nothing that you have to do, except let the ticket agent know of what your needs are. And they usually have a row of seats reserved for you. You might be in the front seat, second seat.
So, yeah,
But don't let it limit you, yes.
Okay, are there other questions that people have that they'd like to ask? Now would be the time. And I'm just gonna flip through the slides so they're so we can make sure we've seen them.
There is one point I'd like to make extra. If you're traveling and let's say you're on a cruise ship or at the convention and you go to a dining area, try to sit at a round table where you can see everybody and let your waiter know that, you know, you need to look at him or her to understand what's going on. And that makes it easier too, to have a more fun time when you know what people are saying. Get the table shape, the location, away from the noise. Don't get it in the middle of the room or next to the kitchen, because it's just so noisy there. And identify yourself to the server. I went on a cruise when we had COVID, and everybody wore a mask. And that was the most horrible, thing to have to go through and talk to the waiter. But luckily I brought along some of those see-through masks, and they got permission to wear them. So hopefully we won't be going through that again, and we can just communicate. Yes, can I answer a question?
Yes, so thank you. Are there other questions? Dana, wait, first, let's see, who is that? Is that Heidi? Heidi, ask your question, please.
I was recently traveling overseas and I have hearing aids and a Roger on. I was using them extensively and found them very useful. But on the third week of the trip, my Rogers stopped working because it got too much humidity. Do you have any tips for traveling with the remote microphones or the hearing aids, and how to keep them in tip-top shape even though you're out in the weather?
Can you repeat that last part, please?
Do you have any tips on how to care for your hearing aids and or the remote microphones if you're using them outside when you're traveling overseas?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
All I know, Heidi, is I have a drying box for my hearing equipment. I don't know if you could also use that for your microphone.
I can use it on my microphone at home, but I didn't bring it because it's big and it requires power.
No, your device, your Roger device, or whatever device is getting humid. Can you put the device in the drying box?
Yes, I can when I'm at home. I'm wondering if there was anything that's travel size that's non-powered.
Well, my drying box is, let me see, not very large. It's half the size of a standard jewelry box. Okay, those dry and store boxes.
Right.
Okay.
Also, you might try Harris Communications catalog. They might have something new out that's smaller and better to travel with. There's always something coming out new.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, was there another question?
I do have something I'd like to share.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you can see this logo.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I have a big one and I have a small one. I bought these and I put it in my car. And if I'm in an accident, God forbid, or stuck, or just stopped by the police, this notifies them that I am also hard of hearing. And it's a symbol, it's an international symbol. And it has helped me so much when I did get stopped once. But they knew I was not faking it. In fact, one of them said something was wrong with my mouth because of the way I speak. And I said, no, I have a hearing loss. And they said, just speech impediment. But just having this symbol inside my car it's a big help. Some people want to put it on the bumper, but I do not suggest that because it just tells the whole world where you're shopping that you are hearing impaired and might set you up for the wrong thing. I hate to say that, but that's life these days. So think about getting these. I do have where I bought it. If you'd like it, I can send that address to you, and you can purchase it for $7.95 or $6.95. And I had it here in all my paperwork. Now I can't find it because I was trying to get on my computer.
That
I'll
illustration
send that
is,
to you, Sarah, and you can share it with the group.
Lynn, that sign for hearing loss is available on the hearingloss.org website
Okay.
under brochures or under other items. It's you can order it. You have to pay for the shipping. I
Okay.
don't know what size it is, but that is available from hearingloss.org, which is HLAA.
Yes. Thank you. I did not know that. I had
Yes.
mine for a long time.
So we'd like to wrap up. Dana, do you have a quick comment or question?
Yes, I have never taken a cruise in the US. So I am wondering, do cruise lines use an app to communicate real-time information to passengers?
No, not that I know of yet. They do have, you can hook up to internet and, talk to people. They do have a special app where you can talk to the other, your friends on board. But I don't think there is an app that connects you to announcements. But I will find out that very soon. I'm going to be talking with Royal Caribbean, and I'm going to ask just that question. A very good question. And I'll
Right.
get back to Sarah.
So thank you so much, Lynn, for presenting today and bringing us this valuable information about travel. I know we all picked up some good tips. I'll be going to the convention and looking at all those airline tips and everything else about being in the car or maybe a future train ride or, a cruise. So we really appreciate you being here. And we apologize for any technical difficulties, but I think altogether we did make it work.